Alright. Chats. Dix! Hey, how's it sound? I adjusted it by myself, so I'm hoping it sounds alright. They don't need to be that big. There we go. Alright. Yeah, I could be a bit louder. Alright. Alright. It's a bit louder. When I laugh, I hit red, so yeah, we're not gonna go further than that. Alright. I don't know what's wrong with my voice. I don't know why I have such a wide range. Samuel, good evening. How is my ever-impressive protege tonight?
Looking forward to a night off, boss. I haven't heard from Eddie, so I was thinking about a nice hot bath.
An excellent idea. A little self-care goes a long way. I do have bubble bath if you would like to borrow some.
Oh, fuck yeah.
Andromachos the Mighty uses bubble bath, huh? I wouldn't have guessed.
There is only one type of human who does not like bubbles.
Liars?
Well, I was going to say werewolves, but I suppose it is the bath part they dislike, not the bubbles.
Oh, well, I ain't no liar, so I'd love some bubble bath. In fact, well, tarnation, I guess the bubble bath is postponed.
Oh yeah, right. This is the night that we would normally be talking with Edward Gein.
Are you ready to handle Edmund's distortions? It sounds as though they will be intense.
Well, let me think real quick.
Oh boy, okay. Alright.
I think I got it.
I suspect you have difficult work ahead tonight. I wish you the best of luck, Samuel.
This fucking guy, yeah.
Thanks, Andy.
Just wait for it.
Hold on, Sammy boy, here he comes. Hey, Eddie.
Do you like my costume, Sam?
Well, sure. Did you come right from that production you were talking about last time?
Yes. I flew right here after the performance. I had to tell you how it went.
No, we can't just skip him.
So, how did it go?
You should have been there. You could have seen how the audience reacted. They loved me.
Hey, well, that's fantastic, Eddie. I was a little worried when I heard you coming. I wasn't expecting you tonight.
But why would you worry? You knew who I was. The great Edmund Keane. Of course the audience would love me. Oh, my dear boy. How they did laugh at the great clown Pierrot.
Well, that's amazing, Eddie. Gave that Grimaldi fellow a run for his money, huh?
Grimaldi would have never achieved as many laughs as I clearly earned.
You don't sound too happy about it, Eddie.
Pierrot is supposed to be a tragic clown, but they laughed. They just laughed and laughed and laughed.
Oh, Eddie.
They laughed at my heartbreak when my wife left me for a respectable man. They laughed when I held my dying child in my arms. They laughed as I succumbed to drink, damning God for not taking me. They laughed as I slit my own throat when 'twas no trick, for I am already dead. So you see, it was all very, very funny.
Eddie, I'm so sorry. That reaction sounds horrifying.
No, but of course it wasn't. I believe this role was made for me. It was made so that people could laugh at me. So laugh, my dear boy. Laugh.
Eddie, I know you're hurting right now. I know people can be cruel, but they ain't looking to be cruel to you in particular. That's one of them cognitive distortions. Personalization. It means,
Shut up! Shut up, shut up, shut up! Don't tell me a fucking thing about cognitive distortions! Do you think I don't know what they are? Do you think I do not employ each and every one, every single moment of every single day? I am a professional liar, but no lie is so carefully constructed as that of Edmund Kean. You told me to deal with reality as it is. So be it. This is Edmund Kean, a minstrel, a jester, a fool, a clown. A clown whose greatest joke is to pretend for even a moment that he is not one. But you see, my dear boy, all that is impressive about Edmund Kean is just illusion. It has always been an illusion. That is what the stage is. But it is my life as well. Go ahead and ask me, therapist. Ask me, who is Edmund Kean?
Who is Edmund Kean?
Nay, do not ask. I will tell you. Edmund Kean is nothing. There is no Edmund Kean. I have never met the man, or even the boy. I have known Shylock, Richard III, Hamlet, Lear, Othello, Macbeth, Romeo, Cupid. The people loved all of those characters. Wherefore would they love Edmund? Edmund had to become a character as well. And I have played Edmund for so long that naught lies beneath. A hollow man sits before you. As other vampires have said, what is a man anyway? A miserable pile of secrets, a mountain of pretty lies.
Eddie, that ain't true, and I'll tell you why.
Pete, we all lie.
We all lie, Eddie. Deep down, we're all still scared animals who can't tell the difference between a booing audience and a lion ripping out our throats. For all the time my blood was pumping, I played a tough guy. Slaughtering Sam, they called me. I like that name. You want to know why?
Why?
Tweet doesn't get to do the Dracula line. He hasn't earned it. You can tell him that.
Because it made me feel safe. Under that grizzled exterior, I was still just a scared little boy. But that little boy was me, Eddie.
You understand me? Though we have played different parts, the character underneath is the same, perhaps. Do you remember that I played Cupid as a boy?
That was your breakout role, right?
I learned that if I smiled and spoke sweetly, people would view me as something other than street trash. I wouldn't have to go hungry. I wouldn't have to be sold to some bloated factory owner. Edmund Kean was worthless to anyone. Another mouth to feed, another body to clothe. So I knew I had to make him disappear. I thought if I suppressed Edmund and became the character the public wanted, I would be rewarded. But this illusion, this character of Edmund Kean, he has brought me to such unspeakable depths. Do you know why I sought to become a vampire? Why I dwelt in dark places until the curse of immortality was given to me? I became a vampire because I was afraid that my son Charles would be a more successful actor than I was. I could not let his legacy overtake mine. I had to be sure that I was the Kean that would be remembered.
Dang, Eddie. That's a lot.
Yes, I have been monstrous. I needed to be the most beloved. I needed my every demand fulfilled. I had my own pet lion. I rode my horse indoors. I flew into a rage if anyone denied me sexual gratification. As an immortal, my fears have made me even more terrible. How many promising young actors I have killed because I felt they threatened my legacy. So many lives cut short because I, and I alone, know what acting must be. Indeed, the very reason I am wearing these clothes is because I could not bear the idea that Grimaldi brought something to the stage that I could not. Do you see how pathetic I am? I am battling a man who has been dead for almost 200 years. The audience was right. I am a most laughable creature. I know what they are thinking, what they have always thought. Look at the fool actor. Look how he debases himself by begging for our approval.
Eddie, you don't know what they're thinking. At all. We've been going over this for months now. All you know is what you know. You're concerning yourself with the thoughts of everyone else that you can't even know. It ain't no wonder that you got no sense of self.
Yes, Yes, you're right. I see that now. This monster that is Edmund Keene was created for the audience, but I do not know them. I believe 'twas not my talents that earned the adoration of the public. Perhaps they only ever loved me because I demanded they do so.
The important thing here to is accept things as they are, compadre.
I cannot accept things as they are, my dear boy. How can I? How can I accept that I have forced everyone around me to confirm my lie of an existence? How can I accept the people I defiled to satisfy my ego? The son I was relieved to see die? The blood I have spilled to sustain my legacy? The lie is all I have, and all I know. I have done such evil to protect it. So much is my poverty of spirit, so mighty, and yet with so many defects, in the vapor of my own glory smothered. No, my dear boy, what is done cannot be now amended. The child Edmund is buried, and this grim-visaged, wretched creature is all that remains.
Eddie, I ain't gonna sugarcoat it. You've done some truly awful stuff. Fear doesn't excuse the dastardly deeds you done. The shit you done ain't never going away.
Yes, go on, kick me, jeer, laugh at the vicious clown, tell him what a fool he is.
You ain't gonna play pity tricks on me or yourself. You acted like a lily-livered sumbitch, Eddie. I know that, because I've done some awful shit too. Because of my fear, I hurt scores of folks. Some strangers, some near and dear. And because of my fear, I pushed all that stuff down deep where no one could see it, just like you. I was too afraid to face myself. Once I didn't have a choice but to take a good look at myself, my first thought was that I deserved to go meet the sunrise, because I'm a coward too. But there's something else we've got in common in addition to acting like yellow bellies, Eddie. You know what it is?
What is it?
We got time, Eddie. We got time to become new people. We got time to look at ourselves honestly and say, yeah, I've been a coward, but I ain't gonna be a coward any longer. So what'll it be, Eddie? You're gonna live forever. Will you do it as a coward or as a man?
I don't know how to be a man.
So you're giving up then?
No, I cannot maintain the facade any longer. I am revealed to myself. But Sam, I never learned to be a person. I stopped being real at 8 years old. Sprout! Why did my fellow actors coddle me so? Why did they let me become a monster? They could have said no, but they did not.
Eddie, you gotta own your choices. Yeah, maybe they could have given you more discipline, but they didn't make you do them things you did. It's time to own up. If you're really gonna stop lying to yourself, it starts right here. What's assigning blame to a bunch of dead folks gonna do for you anyway?
But it was at least in part their fault. Who lets a child make the demands I made?
We ain't focusing on the people who gave in to a kid who was too big for his britches. We're focusing on you. You did some real awful things. You killed people for criticizing you or for showing talent. You resented your son's success. These are things you gotta take in.
Ember, what did I enter into? Well, Ember, Edmund Keene indeed did come back. And he failed at his new part as a clown. And he's realizing he was never actually a person. And it's quite dramatic, as it should be.
But how can I put such things behind me?
You don't. You gotta accept the things you've done as part of who you are. You ain't gonna erase the last 200 some years. But maybe you can use them to make a better Edmund going forward.
How? How do I introduce myself as a demanding megalomaniac? How do I introduce myself as a man who was relieved to see his own son die? How do I introduce myself as a man who demanded the entire world get on their knees to satisfy his ego?
Well, I wouldn't exactly lead with that stuff. How about you introduce yourself as a man who's figuring himself out?
I suppose that is a possibility. At the least, it is not unexpected for me to be so disarrayed. It is known that we actors are all by nature an insecure people.
I believe Edmund is using his profession as cover for his indiscretions. Do not let him, Samuel.
At the least,
No, Eddie. You're overgeneralizing. Painting all actors with a broad brush so it makes you look better. You're blaming your profession, and that's a damn cop-out. Yeah, there are some real fatty arbuckles out there, actors who carve a path of destruction. But there are plenty of stage folk out there who lead humble lives, loving their craft without hurting other people. So I'll thank you not to hide behind bad actors.
bad actors. Now that is funny. Perhaps I need to find an identity beyond the stage. It protected me in my youth, but I do not think that it serves me any longer.
That might be worth exploring, Eddie.
But what if I am nothing without the stage? What if I seek other endeavors, but there are none for me?
You're doing some Nosferatu thinking, Eddie. I've been roaming this earth around the same time as you, and what I picked up is there ain't no extremes. It ain't all or nothing. I guarantee you there's more possibilities out there for you between the grave and the stage. I mean, how long have you even looked for anything beyond the stage?
Not at all, I suppose.
Then let's hold judgment in reserve, huh?
The theater is all I know. It has been my protector all this time. Without it, I am helpless as a swaddling babe.
Eddie, come on. The stage is the thing you know, but you ain't helpless without it. I mean, maybe you're forgetting the whole superhuman strength and immortality thing that comes with being a vampire. And even besides that, you've learned a thing or two from all them Shakespeare plays beyond acting, I'm sure. You ain't a helpless little boy no more. So don't pretend you're powerless to do something new.
Yes. If anything, I certainly have keen powers of self-pity, do I not?
I wasn't gonna say it. However helpless you might feel, Eddie, remember that's just how you feel right now. But that's the amazing thing about being undead. We got lots of time to make a better tomorrow. My mentor, Andy, he says that at 200 years old, we're basically toddlers by vampire standards. And we both got a lot of growing up to do.
That is a heartening thought.
If we're doing life right, Eddie, we're always growing up. The trick is not to think we're done growing.
Spoken like the bard himself. As he said, all the world's a stage, and I am barely past mewling and puking in the nurse's arms. I should be of a more mature mind, shouldn't I? Surely 237 years is old enough to be out of nappies.
Who says so, Eddie? A couple of thousand years ago, we would have been considered old men when we died. A baby chick has grown up in a couple of months. There ain't no real timeline we can base our lives on, especially not us. So don't go worrying about where you should be and just get growing.
Yes, I suppose 'tis so. We are so used to judging ourselves against our peers, aren't we? I was so jealous of Grimaldi that I was willing to do this to myself. But Grimaldi was Grimaldi, and Edmund is Edmund.
That's exactly what I'm saying. We got time to grow, Eddie. Let's just be glad you're a 200-year-old baby and not a 2,000-year-old baby, huh? We'd be having a real different conversation then.
But growth to me seems nigh impossible. I have allowed my fear to guide my every sad-gutted action. My fear told me when I was threatened, which was always.
This is what I mean, Eddie. You're always in defensive mode, ready for someone to take you down. That ain't no way to live. When you're afraid of some young actor coming up and making a name for themselves, what's so scary about that anyway?
I'm afraid they will erase me. I will be just another child of the rookeries, used and discarded, of no value to anyone. No history, no legacy, no record of my existence.
But Eddie, there's loads of actors out there, all with different kinds of strengths. There's legends from every era. I'm a Buster Keaton fan myself. That filler was one of a kind, just like you were. When he was doing crazy stunts on trains, he weren't no threat to Hamlet.
He was very talented. I wanted to kill him, but I never liked visiting America.
Well, I'm glad you didn't. But you see that his success didn't do anything to yours. Not every threat means your doom.
Perhaps my time has passed anyway. There was a time when the stage awaited Edmund Kean, but my death was the end of that time.
I do not believe the stage waits for anyone.
Okay, we got some real work to do still. Here's the thing, Eddie. The stage wasn't waiting for you. Theater wasn't waiting for Edmund Kean to show up, and it wasn't waiting for you to die. You're used to making things about you, but the glorious, wonderful truth is, they ain't. And I got some real good news for you, hombre. You're dead. The pressure's off. All them fears are keeping you locked in time. And you can stay there as long as you like. Or you can make some progress. What's it gonna be?
I am too much of a coward to die, so I suppose I must live.
I'm glad to hear that.
I believe I should go away somewhere cold and dark, where I might be alone with my thoughts.
I think that's a great idea. I do the same thing, and it changed my life. Well, my unlife.
I suppose all's well that ends well. I only hope it does.
I got faith in you. As long as we're putting one foot in front of the other, that's progress.
I shall see you in a month then.
You got it, Eddie. Take care of yourself. We'll get you out of that mewling and puking stage before you know it, okay?
So it shall be. Very well. Exit Edmund Keene. Stage left.
Bravo, Samuel. I was taking notes. It seems the student has become the master.
Only a master of fumbling around. I knew I was taking a risk there.
You were, but perhaps such risks are justified with such an extreme personality. He attempted to gaslight you, but you held fast and challenged him, sternly but fairly. You have a gentle nature. That must have been difficult.
I didn't want to drive him off the edge. I just saw him close to making a breakthrough, and I didn't want him to start sinking again.
Well, you can now count yourself among a very small number of therapists who have made a breakthrough with such a one. I do not count myself among them.
And you let me handle Edmund?
I had faith in you, Samuel. You affirmed it magnificently. Now, please, go downstairs and find a friendly neck. You deserve it.
A drink sounds mighty nice right about now. You have a good night, Andy.
Rest in peace, my dear friend.
Dang, I'm a little shaken up after that one. I've never seen a man as afraid as Edmund Keene. That was tough to watch. I'm sure Crimson can lift my mood. Howdy, Crimson.
What's the matter, cowboy? You look a little paler than usual.
Oh, just had a real tough session. Watched a man who'd been wearing a mask for 200 years finally take it off, and it weren't pretty. Had to happen, though. The fella's got a long road ahead of him, but at least he's taking his first steps.
Think this'll do the trick then? I call this a bloody cowboy martini. Shaken, not stirred. I'm proud of you, Sam. Starting over is hard, especially when you've been spinning your wheels for a long time.
Well, that's the nice thing about being a vampire. We got time to start over.
Cheers to that.
To rebirth.
It seems you walk ever in the path of the Lord, my son.
Hi. I'm not shy.
Oh, hey, Kieran.
I did not mean to intrude. I noted your discomfort and wished to offer you succor in the kink room.
Hi, Irishman.
You mind, Crimson?
Not at all. Go drink your fill, cowboy.
Come, my son. Now then,
No, you.
I heard you speak of rebirth.
Yeah, it's something we vampires have to do a lot of. I was just worried about one of my clients having trouble with their rebirth.
I know it is painful, my son. When we are born again, we leave a part of ourselves behind. Like the lizard who sloughs its dead skin, or the mortal who journeys into the mosh pit, we emerge purer than before.
Sounds like you've got a lot of perspective on this stuff, Kieran.
I know you must have questions, my son. Please, ask.
From your spiritual perspective, can we ever truly start over?
My son, you know the answer already. We beings of flesh and blood are also beings of judgment. However, we do not stand in judgment of mortals, but of ourselves. If you believe you have defeated your demons, then you have.
Yeah, that's true. Reminds me a lot of should statements. And defeating demons is pretty badass, ain't it?
Yes, it is the demons who should fear us, my son. Did you have more questions?
Ain't being reborn just rejecting who we were? I wasn't a good guy, Kieran, but I don't want to erase my dark days.
My son, only in Christ do we truly receive absolution and become beings of pure light. Our darkness defines us. We cannot reject it, just as we cannot reject the Almighty. It is part of us. But do not be shamed by it, my son. Your darkness is beautiful and unique, as is your journey through the darkness.
Kinda sounds like disqualifying the positive to me.
Actually, it's liner notes from a metal album I'm fond of. Did you have more questions to ask?
From your spiritual perspective, how do we know when it's time for a rebirth?
An hour, a week, a year, a millennium. The answer, my son, is when we are ready. Only the Lord decides when that is. The Lord giveth, and the Lord taketh away, and all is according to his will.
Well, that sounds like a control fallacy, though. We can't let someone else make our decisions for us.
My son, all your trials, the world you live in, they are all his work. He leads you to the truth. When he has prepared you fully, you will accept it, and join him along with the dearly departed gods of metal. Did you have more questions for me, my son?
Why ain't your lord the fire and brimstone type that's marked my kind for centuries?
Oh, Kieran ain't a vampire. He's just a goth.
The Lord did not do these things. That is the work of man. Even they work through him and face their own dark journeys. But eventually, we will all be blessed and return to his bosom to rock for all eternity. It is not for man to judge.
He said bosom.
Well, I've got a lady who would love to meet you. I think a few men of the cloth did her dirty.
Men will ever seek power. But I know some simply seek blood. Are you ready to receive succor, my son?
Yeah, but I really wish you'd stop calling it that.
Yum.
That is enlightening.
There. May you be sustained and fulfilled. May you shepherd your lost sheep, as I shepherd the children of the night.
You're a one-of-a-kind dude, Kieran. But thanks for the drink and the talk. You have a fine night.
Godspeed, my son.
Good evening, Samuel. You are seeing your ancient client tonight, are you not?
Yeah, that's right. I hope she's doing okay. I'm worried about her and that whole algorithm thing.
I had a little consultation with some other elder vampires. We have developed a theory, though I hope we are wrong. We believe the algorithm is a demon, known to few, named Raziel. Even I have only ever heard whispers of his name. In mythology, he is a fallen angel, believed to have recorded every action, every change of state for all things on this earth into a great book. This book of knowledge he shared with the first mortals, but mortals were not designed to process so much information at once. They made judgments and reinforced behavior based on information they could not understand. Raziel watched as the mortals inevitably used the book to suppress free will, and he was cast down for his terrible mistake. We believe that Raziel has returned. Perhaps he believes that with computers, he can attempt to pass infinite knowledge to humanity once more. Terrible things will happen if this comes to pass. I would urge great caution, Samuel. Find out what you can about this algorithm. We may have dark work to do.
What the hell? Fallen angels? Ancient books of knowledge? What the heck have I walked into? We don't have this kind of shit in America.
I am old enough to be mythological myself, Samuel. Myth often contains truth. The important question is how much. We do not know what effect he may have had on Medi. But do not worry. Show her the same compassion you show all your clients, and that will open any doors that can open.
All right, I better prepare for this one. Sounds like it might be a doozy.
Alright, Medi usually has overgeneralizations, so we have that locked in. What else? Like, we have control fallacy. Mind reading. Let's go find the positive. Catastrophizing is always good.
Greetings, little mouse.
Howdy, Medi. It's good to see you. How you feeling tonight?
Not well, sweetling. Not well at all.
Oh no, what's going on? I know you were feeling all stressed about your numbers on that glitch site.
They doxed me. Do you know what doxing is, my whiskery friend? It's when mortals find out where you live, where you sleep, so they can hurt you. A group of vampire hunters came looking for me. They were really mean, but they're all dead now. much happier. But it was very inconvenient. Now I have to move, and it is very difficult to set up my lighting to make me look alive.
Dang, Maddie, I'm so sorry. That sounds awful.
It's worse. I will not be able to use my computer for a week. How am I going to upload my content? My fans and zealots are all so impatient. They're sure to leave me if I don't provide them with their content.
So, how many of these followers and zealots have you got, Maddie?
Perhaps 2 million zealots and 90 million followers on Glitch.
And how many of them do you think you'll actually lose if you don't upload lots of content?
The algorithm has already told me that I will lose millions of followers.
So let's go ahead and listen to the algorithm. If you lose millions of followers, it ain't anywhere near 90 million. It's doing a bit of overgeneralization and catastrophizing to think they're all gonna leave you high and dry. Heck, maybe the folks who stay are the ones what you can really count on.
What you can really count on what?
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 Okay.
Oh, never mind.
You said what?
I was trying to say that the people who don't mind you not uploading so much might be better folk to keep around.
It's not up to me, little mice. It's not up to them either. Even the little bloodbags who love me won't get to see me if I don't provide them content.
I don't get it. Why wouldn't they see it? Is the mailman or whatever not delivering your messages?
You're very funny. No, the algorithm decides who sees my content. If I give it content, it will make people like me more. If I stop feeding it, it shuns me.
Mitty, I gotta say, that doesn't sound like a healthy relationship.
Oh, no, it's my friend, I should think. As long as I keep producing content for it, it draws the juicy mortals to me.
How many mortals do you need, though, really?
Well, if I'm to feel safe, I should like to have more of them always. I gain more followers and zealots every month. I need them. One of them has agreed to let me eat him, and I'll take over his flat. They're quite useful.
Well, let me ask you something. Do you actually like any of these followers or zealots? Or are they all just food or servants?
What a silly question, little mouse. Of course I don't like them. I always know what they're like. You forget how old I really am.
Medi again believes she knows the entire internet, but can this...
Oh, now I gotta challenge you on that, miss. I know you got a lot of followers and zealots or whatever they're called, but that don't mean you know all of them. Now, I'm sure you know a lot about mortals on them websites you're using, but that ain't all mortals, and all mortals ain't them.
It's not just them, though. I told you about how they killed me. About how they plucked my eye out. Pop!
I'm saying, can you know that you're always right about mortals?
Wouldn't like to prove that I am.
But these mortals, you're talking to them every day. You got all these folks at your beck and call. They're the people you talk to.
That's right.
But you don't have a real relationship with any of them?
Why would I want to have a relationship with my food? You really are quite a silly Whiskers.
Mitty, I'm saying the only relationships you've got are with what you're calling your food.
But that's what they are. They're food. Delicious, delicious food. A food that sometimes does heavy lifting and computer work, but still, food.
Mitty, it sounds like you're in a bit of a codependent relationship with your food. And maybe with this algorithm fella.
Oh, but it's not a fellow. And it's not a lady either.
So it's non-binary?
No, it claims that it is entirely binary. All ones and zeros. Does speak very strangely sometimes.
Well, whatever they are, seems like as soon as they showed up, you stopped having any real friends.
I wouldn't have time for friends anyway. The algorithm says that I should always provide content to my community, and that takes all night.
But here's the thing, this algorithm, it might have all the information, but that doesn't mean it's got all the answers.
You don't know it like I do. Do you know what I really like about the algorithm, little mice? Unlike the ancient gods the old clans used to worship, or the Abrahamic gods that came after, it treats us equally. If we provide content, we will be rewarded.
Let's talk about these rewards. You say it rewards you with more immortal souls, right?
Highly engaged mortal souls, ready to serve me, should I need them.
But you said you had souls already back in the pre-social media days, right? And you didn't need 90 million of them.
That's true, but it does make me feel quite special when the number goes up.
Is that number going up good for you, though? Not just the stress of managing all them folks, but drawing the attention of vampire hunters. Would you be doing any of this stuff if the algorithm wasn't demanding it?
Did ask me to play a game that I did not like very much the other night, and I pretended to enjoy it. It's called Call of Nationalism. It's all about men who are proud to be angry, which I find very upsetting.
See, that's just what I'm talking about. What about what you want? Did you get to that knitting you wanted to do?
No, I had to play the terrible game about insecure man-worms.
If you had to play this Call of Nationalism, Medi, you ain't helpless here. You could have done a million other things than play this game. You're acting like you got no control here, but dang, come on. You've got the life experience of almost 2 millennia. Don't act like you're powerless.
You're right, little mice. I am very powerful. I don't know what to do. I know that I spend too much time on the internet. But I can't live the life I used to live. I would live out no wilds again, but there are no wilds any longer. I walk the streets. City folks stare because they sense my true nature.
Many of them mortals have got a ton of things on their minds. Most likely, they ain't too concerned about whatever you are. They ain't your zealots or followers, they're just regular mortals. You can't read their minds, and you can't assume they're only thinking about you. Unless you can read minds.
You raise an excellent point for a cute little whisker face. No, I can't read their minds. Can't imagine how a mortal must think. Oh, very silly job. Oh, politics. Oh, grim spectre of death. I must drink alcohol in order to have sex. Dum-de-dum-de-dum-de-dum.
Well, you ain't too far off.
The experiences I've had with mortals have not been happy ones. My pink-nosed, scrabbly-clawed, long-tailed friend.
Well, these mouse descriptions are getting kind of long.
You just don't understand what a mouse you are. It's the mortal's fault I must lock myself away in my flat. It's the mortal's fault that I have to use the internet to survive.
Medi, you're acting more helpless than you are. You're 1,800 years old. You gotta know there's a heck of a lot of ways to solve a problem, but you're predicting doom based on that perceived lack of control. I mean, heck, at your age, you're probably a billionaire, right?
Maybe. I think so. Probably. I don't like to deal with money.
Medi, there are immortal billionaires who live in bunkers and do depraved shit even we vampires couldn't imagine. I reckon you could spend a few bucks to be left alone. But also, you're spending a lot of time on mortals you don't like.
Would you be very fond of mortals who did this to you?
Well, no, I wouldn't. And I didn't say you should. But you gotta admit, you're giving a lot of time and energy to people you don't like. You're resenting them, and I can't blame you.
Of course I resent them. They're all quite awful. Any one of them would hurt me if given the chance.
Medi, I gotta say, that's some Nosferatu thinking. You've been around a lot longer than me. Long enough to know there's almost nothing that's all good or all bad. I know we both spend a lot of time in nature, and nature has a good way of disavowing us of our more extreme beliefs and overgeneralizations.
I suppose that's true. I once saw a wolf and a deer having a romantic relationship. Well, at least there was quite a lot of licking involved.
Oh, I didn't see nothing like that, but maybe I would have if I'd stayed in the wilderness longer. Let me ask you a question. If you're thinking all these followers of yours are a certain way, what if you're right?
Very frustrating, silly whiskers. You keep telling me that I'm doing cognitive distortions, and then you say they're correct.
Well, I'm just wondering about these mortals the algorithm sends your way. What does it say about you that makes them check you out in the first place?
Well, I suppose it shows them that I'm pretty, and that I play video games they like. And they might get to see my body parts.
Do they know that you're clever and funny? Do they know that you've got more life experience than they could ever reckon?
There's no time to talk about that kind of thing, silly. They scroll past streamers very quickly. I have less than a second to make an impression. That's what the algorithm tells me.
So you got all these millions of mortals following you because you're easy on the eyes and like some of the same video games they like?
More like easy on the eye.
Okay, I get it. But the point is, if the algorithm is sending mortals your way based on good looks and some video games, you ain't getting people who like you for you. You're getting mortals who want content, not Medi. Frankly, it ain't no surprise that you don't have much respect for them.
You're very sweet, little mouse. But the algorithm knows what mortals want, and it's not me. They want my body and my video games. I don't have anything else they want.
Medi, far as I can tell, the algorithm doesn't know anything worth a damn if it thinks mortals all want the same thing. Worse, it's making you say things like, I don't have anything folks want. You're disqualifying the positive things about yourself they're all missing out on. Pardon my saying so, miss, but you are weird as heck. You don't sound like anyone I've ever met. You think of things in ways no one else does. Medi, you're as interesting as it gets. Don't let this stupid algorithm reduce you to your looks and the games it tells you to play. It's insulting all that you are as a unique individual.
I understand what you're trying to say, Willy Whiskers McMouseface III, but you don't know the algorithm as I do. It doesn't insult anyone. It just collects all the information about everyone and everything, recognizes patterns, and shows me what those patterns are. What it decides is important is based on the thoughts of every human who has ever been online. It truly knows the will of mortals because it knows all mortals.
What it's doing is overgeneralizing, Medi. How the heck can all of humanity be reduced to formulas? It can't. So what's it doing? It's shaping humanity by reinforcing what folks are already paying attention to. It's telling you to play Call of Nationalism and rely on sex appeal. It's telling the mortals to only care about them things that are popular already. Don't explore. Don't appreciate things that are weird and unique. If this algorithm gets what it wants, what'll happen? Earth will be the most boring place in the universe.
Oh, you just caught Call of Nationalism? I know, right? I laughed the first time I played this.
Medi, this algorithm doesn't appreciate you, and it's teaching you not to appreciate yourself.
You're right, little mice. I am forgetting myself. I think I don't want to feel lonely anymore. I want to be liked.
You ain't gonna be happy if you're being liked for being some boring idea of what someone else thinks you should be.
I really have been very silly, haven't I? The algorithm isn't nice at all, I think.
I'm glad you're getting that this algorithm is abusing you. I don't want to see it change what makes you special.
But I won't have anyone. I'll be alone.
You were alone already, Medi. These relationships you've got online with all these faceless mortals, they ain't real. Those friends you had a few years ago, they sounded real.
I suppose I could send them all an email. Do you think they'll remember me?
There was something about you all that made you join that web ring or whatever it was called. I don't know, but I bet they'd be happy to hear from you.
I think I will send them a message. They were all very strange, like me.
We're all strange, Medi. We're all individuals. Maybe they were just your kind of strange.
You are very sweet, little mouse. I could give you some of my zealots if you like. They'll do what I tell them to do.
Well, that's okay. I'm happy letting them live their lives freely. They deserve to find out what they actually like, too.
You are very soft and squishy for a vampire. But I will message my old friends.
And if you're gonna do this streaming thing, try streaming things you honestly enjoy. Make a new account, be yourself, and see who shows up.
I think I will do that. I'll keep my only zealots, though. They can be very useful.
You do what's best for you. And don't let anyone but you make that decision.
You are so very sweet. Are you sure I can't take you home and let you run on a wheel all night?
I'm pretty sure. I'll see you next month then, right? I want to hear all about how you're handling your weird self.
Oh, but you're a very, very naughty mouse with a very dirty mouse mind.
I didn't mean it like that.
You are very funny. I will see you in a month then. Now, I shall become a mouse too, but with wings.
Excellent work, Samuel. We cannot know for sure, but I believe Medi understands the source of her discomfort.
You think this Raziel is gonna get upset at losing her?
If I understand correctly, Raziel has no power if he is ignored, but he is unusually tempting to listen to. It sounds as though he has the mortals quite beguiled, and many of our kin as well. But you give me faith that he can be defeated, one individual at a time if need be.
I ain't never defeated a dark god before.
There is a first time for everything, my dear Samuel. After all, haven't you been dancing?
You really gotta bring that up, huh?
Mostly for the reaction. Now, my friend, make sure you get something to drink. You shall not have trouble finding willing necks, I'm sure. You are becoming quite the celebrity at Immernacht.
Beating fallen angels is thirsty work. I'm ready for a drink.
Slake your thirst then, my friend. Rest in peace.
Funny to think vampires being born now are growing up with the internet. We're gonna have to reckon with that someday. I hope Maddie's realized that being herself is the best person she can be. Well, speaking of which, I should go check on Crimson. Hey, Crimson, what's on tap tonight?
Take a look around, cowboy. There's plenty to drink.
Well, maybe I'll go looking for a donor. Just figured I'd say howdy to my pal Crimson first.
Well, howdy, sharpshooter. You look like you're in a good mood tonight.
Yeah, I guess I am. You know that ancient client I told you about? I think she's finally realizing that some people are gonna appreciate her for being who she is. Maybe she ain't gonna have 100 million fans, but the people who genuinely like her will be there for her.
How's your blood sugar, honey? I think you're a little too sweet.
Oh, come on now.
I've been thinking a lot about exactly what you're saying. Folks in DC didn't much like my style, but I'm not sure why I cared.
Don't beat yourself up over it. I think we all do the same thing. Easier to do what other folk are doing than blaze a trail, right?
I'm not sure it is easier if we're fighting ourselves the whole time.
That's some real wisdom right there.
Anyway, thanks for making me think. I think I'm done spinning my wheels.
Excuse me, I wish to speak with you, vampire, in the kink room.
I think my dinner's calling. I'll see you later, Crimson.
Ciao, Tex.
You know, I have seen what you are doing. I see all.
So you mentioned Panopta Bella, and what am I doing?
I see that you change people. You make them stronger, more confident, more comfortable.
I'm pretty sure they're doing all that themselves.
No, that is not what I see. I see that without you, they repeat their actions over and over again. Usually, I can see the future because people repeat themselves. But you make the future uncertain. I do not like what I cannot see.
Well, why do you need to see everything anyway, Panopta Bella? Ain't it exhausting?
To see all is to see danger and avoid it. I see that you wish to say something, but are holding back.
Well, I try to do my therapy stuff just in therapy. It ain't right to be analyzing folk without their consent.
Then consent is given. To see all is to see danger and avoid it.
Well, see, what that is a control fallacy. It's a kind of cognitive distortion. The future's always got elements we can't count on. You can be prepared to a certain extent, but you ain't ever gonna know everything. You can only see what's in front of you after all.
Interesting. Then what do you believe I should do?
Well, just that. See what's in front of you. See how you feel about right now, not yesterday or tomorrow. Right now, you can see.
I see. Yes, I see that. I would like you to drink from my neck right now.
See, that wasn't so hard.
Yum.
I see more clearly, vampire. I thank you.
And I thank you for the blood.
I hope your torpor is most satisfying. I shall see myself out.
Is there a nom emote? No. Yes, perfect. No.
Oh, yeah. Good night, Panopta Bella. I think that was a pretty successful night. Coffin time for old Sam.
Well, if it isn't the gunslinging guru of mental health himself.
I'm not
good
getting the
evening, son.
option, Shu. Shush.
It seems you have made quite a reputation for yourself in a very short time.
It's hard to believe I've only been here in Germany for 6 months. In that short time, I think I've grown more than I have in the last 200-some years.
You are quite correct, Samuel. It is truly gratifying to see you grow and change. Of course, our mental health journeys never quite end, do they? I am sure you still have much to talk about, but let us first take a moment to breathe and meditate.
That sounds like a good idea. Give me a chance to center myself.
Very good. Now close your eyes and enter your place of comfort.
Okay, don't jerk off while I have my eyes closed.
Isabella d'Este. I wonder. How was Andy squeezing into that suit anyway? Is Raziel listening in on our conversation? Princess to the rescue! I sure am a lily-livered coward. Cognitive distortion left and do-si-do. What am I doing hiding out in Germany? Why'd you do this to me, Ernie? You keep running, Sammy boy. You dummy, Sam. Loving your horse more than your... The United States needs some therapy. Sure am glad I don't sweat. Tarnation. What a great word.
Are you feeling better, my friend?
Yeah, I'm a real meditation master, I'll tell you what.
You will only become a master of meditation when you are one with the universe, Samuel. What came up for you tonight?
I've still got my head wrapped up in my past wrongs. I feel like kind of a yellow belly for running away from them to come here. But dang it, there's me labeling myself again.
Why are you calling yourself a yellow belly then?
It's a pattern of mine, that's all. I gave you my history, and it's a history of my running away. I ran from my home, I ran from all the trouble I caused, I ran from my wife and into the hands of a vampire gang, then I ran from them and hid out in the woods. When my gang tracked me down, I ran off to Europe. Whenever the going gets tough, Sam Walls gets going.
Samuel, this is quite the oversimplification. I remember a man who came into my office and told me about how he should have made better decisions as a traumatized child. In each of these cases you speak of, you made difficult choices following terrible events. Have some compassion for yourself, my friend.
Yeah, well, I haven't even given you the full story yet. There's another thing I've been running from. I got kin, Andy. Distant kin, but kin all the same. See, my wife was pregnant when she up and left me. Didn't even tell me. My line ain't never been strong, thank goodness. But I've got a great-great-great-great-great-granddaughter. Give or take one of them greats. I looked her up, and she ain't living well, Andy. I want to be there for her the way I wasn't for my wife and child. But all I am's the undead man who got her great-great-great-great-great-uncle killed. If I were her, I wouldn't give me the time of night. Which I guess is mind reading, but it seems like common sense to me too. Yeah, I've tried to make amends, but as far as kin is concerned, well, I ain't done shit. Hell, I can always be confident that I'll do the wrong thing when it comes to my family. I guess that's like being always right about being always wrong.
I see you are becoming quite perceptive of your own distortions, Samuel. But let me do some reflecting for you, and you can tell me how you perceive what I am saying. Do you consider yourself a yellow belly, a somewhat archaic term for coward?
I guess I'm still doing a little labeling there, huh?
A little. I believe you understand that calling ourselves names does nothing to improve ourselves.
All right, all right. Maybe calling myself a coward ain't too good for me.
Now then, you said you believe that your distant relative will not want to speak to you because you caused the death of another distant relative.
Sounds like I'm doing a little mind reading there. I can't really know what my my distant relation is gonna think of me.
Naturally. We vampires have a reputation as monsters, but that is not a universal reputation. In fact, I believe we are rising in public opinion.
Yeah, but if they don't see us as monsters, they see us as sex objects.
And now you are overgeneralizing. We are as capable of knowing the mind of society as we are of knowing the mind of an individual.
Yeah, you're right. I ain't giving my relative the chance to have her own thoughts. I should know better by now. Yeah, I know that. There's another should statement.
Samuel, remember what I have told you. Cognitive distortions are a normal side effect of being human. Cognitive distortion classifications are tools, not weapons to beat yourself with. Give yourself the same compassion you give to your clients. Now then, let us continue to reflect on your concerns. You also believe that the positive changes you have made in your life are irrelevant where family is concerned.
I'm disqualifying the positive by pretending the change I've made don't mean anything.
It is your favorite cognitive distortion, Samuel. Your humility is most endearing, but it does often enter the realm of cognitive distortion. There is a comfortable place between extreme humility and extreme arrogance, my friend, and that is in truth.
Yeah, I know. When you're right, and you're always right.
You believe I am always right?
I guess there ain't no way of knowing if you're always right. You just kind of give off an always right vibe.
I like to have good vibes, my friend, but vibes alone do not make the man. Most of my existence, I thought I was always right, but that was when I was the most wrong. Don't believe the vibes, dear Samuel.
Yeah, I'll try, but you don't make it easy. I can see where I'm making the same assumptions about McKinn, though. I gotta give her a chance before I assume she's gonna hate me. I just know that if I end up going back to the States, things are gonna get complicated. Most of us vampires out west are on the younger side. We're still in that angry, insecure stage, and I know there's a whole gang of them hollering for my blood.
Are you afraid of them, Samuel?
You know what? I ain't. I just know at some point I'm gonna have to deal with them. My gang is real powerful now, especially their leader. Did I ever tell you about my vampire daddy?
I assumed you would tell me when you were ready.
Called himself Ernie Awigdunkel. A real piece of work. Fella had more blood on his hands than any vampire I ever met.
I know this name.
You know Ernie?
He is a part of my darker history, and a part of humanity's darker history. He is your dark father.
Well, yeah. Is that bad?
He does not determine who you are, Samuel, but the man is still dangerous. His real name is Heinrich Kramer, and he is no mere murderer. He has a deep hatred for all humanity, especially women. I am discouraged to hear he still lives.
Well, what this Kramer fella do?
He wrote a book in 1487 called the Malleus Maleficarum, also known as the Hammer of Witches. It was with this justification that the Church was enabled to persecute, torture, and kill women. Its effects linger in society even today. The Pope during Isabella d'Este's time, Alexander VI, named him Inquisitor of Bohemia and Moravia. What he did with this power is better left unspoken.
Well, shit. What was this guy's problem with women?
They refused to enter sexual congress with him. They did not like him. He practiced poor hygiene, acted entitled, and was extremely insecure. He defended his own repellent nature with great ardor, blaming women for their predictable dislike of him. He committed himself to a life of celibacy as a Dominican friar, cementing both his virginity and his hatred.
Well, wait a minute, he sounds like one of them incel types from the internet I've read about.
I am afraid I am unfamiliar with the term, but he did make his lack of sexual appeal his identity.
Dang, well, now some things are starting to make sense. How do you know this Kramer guy, Andy?
Samuel, know that I too have given myself to hatred. Mortals with a great capacity for evil drew my attention. I amused myself by indulging them. I do not absolve myself of my actions, but it is difficult to speak of them. The Andromachos of that time was a most pitiable vampire.
Oh, I'm sorry, Andy. I didn't mean to dig at old wounds.
Do not be sorry, my dear Samuel. We must not erase our pasts. Pain can be a somber teacher. I must ask, what became of Heinrich?
Well, he runs Sanguinius Health, the health insurance company I told you about the last time. It's vampires from the boardroom all the way down, stealing blood, money, and hope from American mortals. Running health insurance gives them all the money they need for even more dirty deeds.
How terrible. Oh, Heinrich, what depths will you not sink to? He disappeared from Europe 200 years ago. I had hoped he was gone forever.
Do you think he can change, Andy?
Oh, Samuel, yes, of course he can change. Like you and me, however, he must desire this change within himself. But hatred is not something Heinrich Kramer holds. It is his very identity. He will be reluctant to give it up. Are you suggesting that you aim to help him?
Do you think I shouldn't?
It isn't my choice, my friend. You will do what you are going to do.
I guess I don't know what I want to do. but I know Ernie, or Heinrich, and I'm starting to get a handle on this therapy thing. If I can help him, shouldn't I be helping him?
Let me reflect for you. You are aware that you have knowledge of Heinrich others do not have, and that you have newfound abilities as a therapist. Therefore, you believe you should help him.
I guess that's a should statement, huh? Just because I know him and know something about therapy doesn't mean it's my destiny to try to help Heinrich Kramer.
Of course, Samuel. Your own life is your own. You make your own decisions.
Yeah, you're right. There ain't no should.
I'm glad to hear you recognize this, Samuel. Heinrich Kramer is not your should.
Well, thanks for talking this through with me, Andy. I think it's been real helpful for sorting out my thoughts.
Of course, my dear. You did all the work. I am merely here to help you reflect. You have become quite adept at recognizing your own cognitive distortions. All there is to decide now is the path you choose from here. What drives you forward, my friend?
What do you think drives Sam forward? Alright.
I've learned a hell of a lot here, Andy. More than I could have ever imagined. But this European world just ain't mine, I reckon. Ancient demons, power-hungry popes, kings, and duchesses. This stuff ain't exactly in my comfort zone. Besides, vampires back home have got their own issues, and now I've got the tools to help them.
I had a suspicion you were working up to this decision, though I hoped it would not be so.
I really like it here, Andy, and you've been incredible. But if my heart still beat, it'd be beating for home. I don't want to let my clients down, but I think they're homebodies anyway. Maybe I can get them to do sessions over video calls or something.
I think you may be the only person who could get Isabella Deste to do a computer video call.
And we can continue my sessions from the internet?
Of course, Samuel. Natural.
Well, I guess that's that then. I ain't gonna run out too quickly, though. I gotta arrange for a new cruise back home, and I want to tell my clients in person. That'll take some time.
That would be most considerate. Your clients have grown quite fond of you. Well, Samuel, I must say I am proud of you. It has been inspiring to see your command of cognitive distortions. I have no doubt that you will make your home a better place.
Coming from you, that's real flattering. Like I said when I first came here, I'm just a lonesome cowboy looking for answers.
You will always seek those answers, my friend. And that is what will ensure you continue to grow. But enough embarrassing Samuel. I believe you should go down and get yourself a drink.
That sounds great, Andy.
Rest in peace, Samuel.
Well, that's it then. I'm going home. Once I let my clients know, I'll head back to the USA. Time to give Crimson the news. Crimson, my favorite barkeep. How's the saloon tonight?
You sound a little distracted, cowboy. Got something to tell me?
Am I that obvious?
You are. You're pretty adorable, Sam Walls.
I like to say approachably rugged.
Sure, let's go with that. What's the news, cowboy?
Well, I've been here for a few months now. I came here to get trained up by Andy, and now that I have been, I think it's time for me to go home.
No shit. Well, good for you, Sam. I think you're right. I don't think this place is for you.
I mean, I ain't gonna learn German, that's for sure. Moving on just seemed like the right choice. I got some unfinished business back home anyway. You don't seem that bothered by me leaving, though. Figured I might earn at least a frown.
Well, it just so happens that I've got some news for you. Can you guess what it is?
What do you think her news is? Marriage? Fuck, let's find out.
You and Andy are getting married, ain't you? Congratulations, Crimson.
A vampire wedding? You serious? Who would even show up on his side? Charlemagne?
Well, I don't know. I was just guessing.
It's not that. Take a look at me. Notice anything different?
Well, no.
How about now?
Crimson, you're a vampire.
Newly undead and ready to bite some necks.
What led to that decision?
I thought about what you said, about how vampires have got time to start over and time to do things their way.
She also has red eyes now. It's very subtle.
I'm going back to America too. Gonna join a different kind of bar again. The law moves slowly, but I've got time.
Dang, Crimson. A vampire lawyer. Look how world. Kinda sounds like a neat video game. Vampire lawyer.
Nerd.
No, it doesn't. But I think I can make a difference.
How'd Andy take the news?
He knew it was coming, like he always does. Can't surprise that man. I love him to death, literally. And I'll come back someday. I just need to go my own way for a while.
Dang. Well, this is some big news. When do you think you're leaving?
Figure I'll go with you. I'll need someone to show me the ways of the night anyway.
Shucks, well that sounds mighty fine, Crimson. Might need your help going up against the big corporation my old gang is running.
You got a deal, cowboy. Don't look now, but dinner's just arrived.
Maxi, look! Crimson! She is now ein Vampir.
You are one of the night children now?
Looks that way, and we're in the mood for a little celebrating. Sam and I are headed to America.
Why would you want to do that?
They do have better network infrastructure.
Oh, I suppose that is true. Oh, but we will miss getting our necks beaten by you.
If you join us in the kink room, we will have a foursome.
Come on, cowboy. We won't be in Germany forever.
Alone at last. My veins throb.
Just your veins. I'm scared. I'm flustered. Ah!
Who gets to bite me?
I'll let you get first pick, Sam.
Who should we bite? Make Reinhardt's vein throb more. Okay.
All right, Reinhard, you got nice veins, so bring them on over.
I knew you liked me best, cowboy.
That's the good stuff.
Spatsy, you give my neck such excellent attention.
Kind of my job, if vampires had jobs.
Und Crimson bites most erotically.
I learned from the best.
I guess I should turn in now. Gotta prepare to give my clients the big news.
You are not getting away so easily, cowboy.
The night is only getting started.
Live a little, Tex. We'll be back in the land of Puritan pride before you know it.
Ah, what the hell? You only die once.
And he finally had sex. Yay!
Good evening, Samuel. I believe you are seeing Dr. Drain tonight. Or is it Lord Lourdes?
I sure as heck hope I'm only seeing one client. I don't know how the doc's gonna take the news that I'm leaving, but I'm sure Lord Lourdes would love to see the back of me.
I believe Lord Lourdes likes to see the back of everyone.
He's a real sumbitch, but you can't say he's picky. I should get my distortions picked. Now let's see.
Okay, Dr. Drain. God. What do I want for my last one?
All right, got my chambers loaded up.
Is that really a phrase, or are you trying to get a reaction out of me?
I'm joshing a bit.
To cover up your very real obsession with firearms. I know you by now, Samuel Walls.
Guilty as charged.
I will leave you and your gun in peace. Good luck tonight, Samuel.
Hello, Sam. Evening to you, Dr. Drain. How you been this month? Seems like you had a big breakthrough last time. Yes, I think I did. I have been feeling a lot better ever since. Well, you look great. Like a new man. Or perhaps the same man, but whole. Well, you look a lot more at peace than I've ever seen you. Why don't you fill me in on the last month? I can scarcely believe how the last few weeks have gone. I didn't do a single hour of work. I let my scientists do it. They couldn't believe I backed off. They thought I was dead. But you are dead. They don't know that, do they? Regardless, I thought I owed myself a little space. I actually stayed here in Germany the entire time. Really? Here in Leipzig? I went to Berlin. I heard you can do whatever you like there, and no one cares. I went clubbing, Sam. I bit mortal necks. I really had quite a nice time.
It's so weird seeing him smile.
Yeah, I remember you were a good dancer. Oh, I sometimes danced for several nights in a row. They keep some of these places free from light, so I was free to party day and night. I did end up doing some pharmaceutical research, though the more recreational kind.
I think it's just the British accent makes him feel like he shouldn't be happy.
Well, sounds like you were living it up. You're keeping safe, I hope. Oh, Sam, I'm 430 years old. I don't have mortal fears. And did Lord Lourdes show up at any point? I dare say he was there the whole time, in some fashion. He's a much more agreeable chap when he's with me, though. Oh, and Sam, something else quite interesting happened. Oh, yeah? What's that? I engaged in coitus.
Don't pronounce it coitus. My God. What the fuck?
No shit? Oh, goodness, no. I've got Lord Lourdes under control now. Not to say that it wasn't exciting, though. I was a little nervous at first. I haven't had sex since I died, after all, not counting whatever Lourdes got up to. But riding another human being is like riding a bike, I suppose. It just comes back to you.
Oh my God.
Well, dang, Doc. I'm just thrilled to hear you're letting yourself live a little. Yes, it's been a satisfying month. I'm headed back to Berlin tonight to meet my paramour again before I fly back to London. So is this some kind of serious thing? Not at all. Having a conversation with him makes me want to yank my hair out, so I just yank his curly locks instead. Who the hell are you and what have you done with Dr. Drain? It's funny, isn't it? I would have been disgusted with this person 6 months ago. Now I find I quite like him, and others seem to as well. Well, maybe this is a good time to give you some bad news then. I'm headed back to America, Doc. I reckon I can do more good there than I can here. Truly. But you're all so repressed there. I guess you'd know, huh? Touché. Well, Sam, I'm sorry to hear that you're leaving, truly. Oh, I ain't gonna leave you high and dry. We can still do our sessions over the internet. It just won't be in person no more. Well, that's all right then. To be honest, I'm not sure I even know what I'd be looking for in therapy now. But then, I didn't know what I was looking for from therapy when I first flew in either. Well, I appreciate your keeping an open, scientific mind, Doc. Is there anything you wanted to go over tonight? Honestly, no. I suppose I should snap back to reality at some point and tend to my research, but not now. But remember, them should statements are what got you to lock up Lord Lourdes in the first place. Think about what you could be doing, or what you want to be doing. It's that intrinsic motivation that'll take you where you want to go. Of course, I'm a vampire now. I'm the master of my own destiny. Attaboy. You got any strategies for what to do if you want to get into that plasma stuff again? If I desire to go down that road, I am surely denying myself my vampiric nature again. Perhaps it is best if we maintain our sessions. I think I know what I want right now, and that's a spot of blood and dance. What do you say, buckaroo? Oh, sure thing, old chap. Come on.
My dear Samuel, it is a big night tonight, isn't it?
Oh, yeah? Why's that?
You are breaking the news to Senora Deste that you are leaving, are you not? Against her nature, she has grown very fond of you, my friend.
Oh, yeah. Who the heck knows why, right?
Are you fishing for compliments or merely disqualifying the positive once again?
Let's say fishing for compliments.
Very well. Samuel, Your disarming charm and compassion undoubtedly make you an attractive vampire to our kind. Somehow, at a young age, you possess a natural wisdom that
Okay, I was really disqualifying the positive again.
you are so easy to embarrass as well, which has its own charm. Very well, Samuel. I will leave you to your dark business.
Is it charming to be easily embarrassed? I find it embarrassing.
Good luck with Signora this day, my friend.
Oh god, control fallacy. Fair. Always right. I don't believe you somehow. That it's charming when you embarrass me. Oh no! Begone, bot. Jude. Thank you. Boop.
All right, got what I need. Here comes the good lady herself. Evening, Senora. It's good to see you.
I am pleased to see you as well. You have been on my mind of late.
Oh? Why's that?
I wished to apologize for my behavior during our last session. I let my monstrous side come out, and I addressed you in ways most unseemly. You have been kind to me and did not deserve this treatment.
Oh, think nothing of it, Senora. Therapy's kind of the place for them big emotions to come out, ain't it? I didn't take it personally.
Oh, but you should, Sam. I called you some terrible names. I disrespected you. You should be quite angry with me.
With all due respect, Senora, I ain't gonna be upset with you just because you say I should be upset. Maybe that's your perspective, but it ain't mine, and I won't be bound by it. All truth, I'm glad you let yourself get properly worked up.
Yes, that is exactly the problem. I allowed it. I allowed myself to insult a man who has been kind and patient with me. I lost control. I should not be so careless.
I don't expect you to always be in control, Senora. Like we've been saying since you walked in, you gotta have some compassion for yourself when you do lose that control. No one's saying you should always be in control. I think you're a superhuman, Senora, but you ain't superhuman.
You are, of course, correct. I fear I shall always have this tendency. But I am becoming more aware of it, thanks to your guidance.
That's the absolute best we can expect of ourselves. We ain't never gonna be perfect. Being self-aware is the closest we're gonna get. I ain't surprised at all you're making a ton of progress, Senora. You're a lady who likes to do things properly.
But let us say, not perfectly.
Exactly, you're getting it. I ain't worried about you, Senora. How have the last few weeks gone? Have you done any more art?
A little. It can be a little frustrating for me to paint when I am so unpracticed. I think I have always been better at recognizing and cultivating talent in others. The problem has always been that my artist cannot stand dealing with me. Poor Leonardo used to tremble whenever I said his name. I would like to try being a more patient benefactor.
Post to Fur Affinity. They would appreciate the centaurs.
I think that's a fantastic idea, Senora. Maybe the next great masters are out there waiting to be discovered.
Yes, that is my thinking. There will always be rise of the spacewalkers. But I can complain about the state of art today, or I can do something about it.
See, now that's a great direction for your frustration. Don't let them folks be the only ones making art.
That is my thinking exactly. I'm starting a foundation for the arts, specifically for talented, living women. I aim to spend about €1 billion each year. I believe that should be enough to create art worthy of attention.
$1 billion a year? Where'd you get that kind of money?
My children's children intermingled with the Habsburgs and Medicis. My dynasty is full of blood-sucking investment bankers I can exploit.
Oh, you mean they're vampires?
No, they're just mortal leeches. But they will do what they are told.
What about them artists you're funding? Are they gonna do what they're told?
I shall not hobble them, as I hobbled the great masters. I will let them share their own dreams. But they must be dreams. I will not fund a rise of the spacewalker.
Seems like you got a good game plan, Senora. This sounds like a real touchdown.
What on earth are you talking about?
Oh, never mind. Just saying, seems like you're on a good path, Senora. Maybe this is a good time to tell you I've got some news too. I'm going back home soon. To America.
Why would you ever want to go back there? Are you trying to get away from me?
No, it ain't nothing like that. I've got my own reasons. Stuff at home that's waiting for me.
I know I can be a little intimidating sometimes.
It doesn't have anything to do with you, Senora. It doesn't mean we have to stop doing our sessions. We'll just have to use some of them internet video chat things.
But I do not know how to use such things. Can't you stay here?
No can do, Senora. Besides, you gotta admit, I don't exactly fit in here in Europe.
Perhaps we need more men like you.
Well, trust me, Senora. I ain't that special. I got my problems just like anyone.
The popes of my time would have hated you, dear Sam. They would feel naked before you. I suppose if you must go, then you must go. Will you at least teach me how to do a video call before you leave?
We can take a little time now if you're willing.
I would like that. Very much.
Come on, Senora. I'll show you how it's done.
Samuel, my dear, so lovely to see you. How are you feeling this evening?
Oh, all right. A little nervous, I suppose.
About Edmund?
Yeah, he didn't seem to be doing too well last time. Feel for the guy.
You had empathy and compassion for him when not many would. If you continue this approach, I am certain that all will turn out for the best.
I ain't so sure, I gotta admit. Maybe Eddie would have been happier living the lie.
In the short term, I believe you are correct. Inertia is always the easiest option, but inertia can also lead to a certain decay of spirit. Edmund, as you so astutely pointed out, has time to grow as a human. He will find his joys once more.
I sure hope you're right, Andy. I don't think I'm gonna see the same Edmund tonight, though.
It sounds as though you have difficult work ahead tonight. I wish you the best of luck, Samuel. Choose your distortions well.
Okay, Edmund. God, okay.
Locked and loaded, boss.
Do you plan to engage in therapy with Edmund or fill him with holes?
I was planning on therapy.
Then try not to refer to cognitive distortions as ballistic weaponry, my friend.
Sorry about that. Thanks, Andy.
I'm teasing you, Samuel. Do have a good session.
Howdy, Eddie. It's good to see you.
Is it? Can it be good to see me if you do not know who I am?
Eddie, whoever it is that's sitting in front of me, it's good to see him.
Well, I'm glad you think so.
You're not feeling too good, are you?
Not very. I've spent much of the last weeks in bed, in silence, pondering the only question that matters.
And what question is that, Eddie?
To be or not to be? I've said the lines so often, but I never understood them. They were just pretty sounds I used to make the people cheer. I said them with conviction, with emotion, or simulacra of such, and so full of sound and fury, yet in the end, signifying nothing. Now I know that the answer is not so simple. To be, indeed, or not to be.
Well, maybe you can walk me through it, Eddie. I never was much of a theater guy.
Of course. To be or not to be, that is the question. Whether it is nobler in the mind to suffer the slings and arrows of outrageous fortune, or to take arms against a sea of troubles, and by opposing, end them. This part is simple enough. Do we accept our troubles as they are, or do we take the effort to address them? The bard continues with some more pretty speech, and then that the dread of something after death, the undiscovered country from whose bourne no traveler returns, puzzles the will, and makes us rather bear those ills we have, than fly to others we know not of. I have borne those ills. Ills of my own making. My undiscovered country is the true Edmund Keene. Who is he? To be or not to be? Indeed. I have feared that undiscovered country with all my still heart, and now I have arrived there. Not to be. Where is the place upon this cursed orb that was made for Edmund Keene?
That sounds really heavy, Eddie, but I want to help you with a little perspective. This idea that there's a place made for you ain't true. You gotta make that place. There ain't no cast list with roles to be filled. You gotta make your own role.
Perhaps I have taken all the world's a stage a bit far.
Well, maybe a little. You're a clever fella, Eddie, and you're still a human being. You're just dealing with a lot right now. Give yourself some compassion. It ain't easy starting over after 200-some years. I'm proud of you for soldiering on, hombre.
I do not understand why. What does the world need of me? All I have ever done is play the clown upon the stage. I am as unnecessary a man as ever there was one.
Edmund has spent so long believing in roles that he forgot.
I do not understand why. What?
I am as unnecessary a man as there ever was one. Eddie, who says you need to be necessary? Being you is enough, hombre. That's what you're gonna be regardless. I know it's a big, scary step being you, but you took it. And for that, I'm dang proud of you.
You are kind. And I suppose it is true that facing the slings and arrows of righteous fortune is a virtue in itself. But the future is now all undiscovered country, and it will be a hard land to navigate for a swaddling babe such as I. I can scarcely crawl, but at least I have you to help me.
About that, Eddie.
Oh dear.
I'm heading back to America, Eddie. I've got growing and changing to do myself, but we can still do our sessions over video call.
Oh no! Oh no, 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 you cannot leave, you must not! I will be all alone! The mortals wait for me to stumble, and when I do, they will fill my mouth with garlic and cut off my head!
Eddie, come on, you're doing a little catastrophizing there. We'll still be talking over video calls. You've been handling yourself fine in London without me.
Oh, but I haven't! I absolutely have not! I stayed in my coffin for the entire month! The director of the play who disarmed me so seeks my head for the loss of her Piero! Oh, my dear man, you must not go! You cannot do this to me! You cannot turn me into a shell of a vampire and then abandon me!
Did you intend to hurt Edmund, Samuel? You must be very cruel.
Oh, my dear man.
What makes you think I'm doing this to you, Eddie? I've got my own concerns that don't have anything to do with you. I'm going back to the U.S. for myself. Now I know you're coming from a vulnerable place and all, but I'm making this change for me, and you've got to accept that.
I know. I'm sorry. Just don't leave me, please. I could come with you. I could go to America. Yes, a fresh start. I know America. I performed in Canada and in New York City.
Well, Eddie, I ain't much of a city slicker. I'm headed west.
I could move in with you. We could be roommates.
Oh my god, they were roommates. No.
Eddie, no, that ain't gonna happen. Look, I think there's something to what you're saying about that fresh start. But my role in your own life is as your therapist. But we gotta stick to them boundaries. Now, I'm happy to meet with you as your therapist, but you gotta be content with that, all right?
Yes. Of course. Yes, well then, that's settled. I'm going to America. I shall go home and pack my things immediately.
Now take your time, Eddie. I need a little more time to wrap up here. I'll let you know what my schedule looks like over Vmail. Now, you gonna be okay?
Yes. The idea of a new start is rather exciting. I have something to look forward to.
All right, Eddie. I'll talk to you soon then.
Of course, yes. Oh, my country. My country, 'tis of the sweet land of liberty.
Eddie, we're vampires. We don't have countries. Don't go trading one problematic identity for another.
Yes, of course. Well, goodbye, Sam.
Adios, muchacho.
Well, a new companion, is it, Samuel?
Oh, it ain't like that, Andy.
I know. I am very pleased with you. You maintained your boundaries well, and gave Edmund a lifeline. Well, an unlifeline. You are the future of vampire therapy, my friend.
Oh, shucks. I'll settle for the present.
Then the present is a fortuitous one. I believe you're owed a drink.
Oh, yeah. After that, I sure as hell need one.
Then go downstairs and enjoy yourself. You shall soon say goodbye to your last client. Enjoy Crimson's best while you can. Rest in peace, dear Samuel. Greetings to you, my dear Samuel. It is, as always, a pleasure to see your face.
Oh, thanks, Andy. You got a nice face, too.
Why, thank you. It has served me well. I suppose tonight's meeting is bittersweet. You are saying goodbye to your last client, yes?
Yeah, that's right. Meddy should be showing up any time.
I would like to give you something then, before she arrives.
Thanks, I guess. What is this? A piece of wood?
From a barrel. One that once contained a naked man whose wisdom I was not ready to appreciate. His name was Diogenes. He would scream at people as they passed by, telling them to break out of the realities they were so comfortable in. He questioned Athenian society, no matter how sacred, and emphasized the return to the beauty of nature. He saw somehow through the constructed reality we have all created, and understood the miracle of the individual. You, my friend, through your rebirth and death, your travels in the wilds, remind me so much of the man. Thus, I give this part of the barrel he lived in to you.
Wow. Dang, well, thank you, Andy. What's it say, though? Some great insight about what it means to be human?
It says Diogenes was here.
Well, all the same, I love it. Thank you, Andy.
It could have no greater honor. Now then, I will leave you to tend to your client.
Okay.
Got my ammo at the ready.
We really need to talk about this gun stuff sometime. Whatever this thing is, it is very old.
Yeah, I know. We'll get to it, I'm sure.
Do not worry about it for now. Please take a moment. She comes.
Hello, little mouse.
Oh, hello, Meddy. Interesting clothing you're wearing tonight. Have you been?
How have I been? Or rather, who have I been?
Sure, how about who have you been?
I've been a halfling druid.
You've lost me.
That's all right, sweet cowboy manling. I've had ever so much fun as a halfling druid. My name is Bulgo Fraggykins, a halfling of Tuckland. When I was a child, I saved a tree from being burned by a group of nasty orcs. The trees gave me magical druidic powers, which I now use to cleanse the land of evildoers.
Hold on, is this a thing that actually happened? I know you're real old and things were different back in your time.
What are you talking about, my sweets? It's happening right now. Me and my companions, we're a fellowship on a noble quest.
What's this noble quest you're talking about?
Well, in the city of Balin's castle, there's a philanthropist mage named Durgan the Munificent, who keeps the people happy and content. But my fellowship and I have discovered that he's actually a warlock serving An Calgon the Clean, an ancient dragon who seeks to purify the land of all mortals. Durgan is cutting down trees throughout the realm, which upsets me very much as a druid. We're going to defeat him, face An Calgon, and save the land from certain doom.
Okay. You said your name is Bulgo now, not Meddy?
That's right. My name is Bulgo Fraggykins of House Fraggykins. My family produces the finest pipeweed, Fraggykin Kush, but they're always burning leaves to get high. They don't approve of my becoming a druid, so I have to leave home and live in the woods. That is, until the trees started to disappear.
I like how it actually changed her little nameplate.
So, I gotta call you Bulgo from now on?
That is my name.
Well, alright then, Bulgo. Now, you never told me you were a druid. I know them types were all over Ireland back in your time, right?
A druid is a servant of nature. We protect all things that grow from the forces of evil who aim to corrupt them. In return, nature gives us certain magical powers. I, for instance, can turn into a squirrel and a wolf.
Well, dang. Seems like there's a lot about the world I don't know. But then I'm only 200 some years old.
And you're very silly.
That too. Okay, I gotta admit, I have no freaking clue what the hell you're talking about, Medi, or Bulgo. Are you doing all right?
I'm LARPing, silly.
I don't know what that is.
Live action role playing. My friends and I get dressed up and we pretend to go on grand adventures.
Your friends? Who are your friends, Bulgo?
I did what you suggested. I emailed all my friends from the web ring and they were very happy to hear from me. Some of them live in Ireland, so we decided to get together and play games. It's been ever so much fun. They're all mortals, but they love that I'm a real vampire. They share their blood with me as part of our role-playing. It's how I summon up enough magic to turn into a squirrel.
That's incredible. I'm so happy to hear that, Bulgo. You got blood, you got friends, and what about the algorithm?
My friends and I performed a mystic nature ritual to clear my mind. Nature provides what I need, not hyper-intelligent monsters. The algorithm only wants boring things anyway. I close my glitch and only sell its accounts. I like my IRL friends better.
And how do you feel?
I feel happy. You were quite right. There are kind mortals. My friends have lots of mortal problems, but I have lots of money, so they don't need to worry about mortal things.
That sounds like a pretty decent exchange, Bulgo. Sounds like you're in a pretty good place, huh?
Well, almost. I have one problem that plagues me.
Well, what is it?
Orcs. I hate them.
Orcs?
Orcs. They're all awful. They cut down trees for fun, they're always saying dirty words, and they like to kick halflings.
Now, come on. I haven't met any orcs, but I know you haven't met all of them. You don't know their stories. Maybe they're that way because they were raised in troubled households and they don't know any better. Maybe some of them act that way because that's what you expect. Show a little compassion, the same as you'd show for yourself, and maybe them orcs will surprise you.
But the rule book says all orcs are evil.
Since when do you follow a rule book, Bulgo?
Perhaps you're right, little mouse. I have been a bit harsh on the orcs. I shall be kinder from now on.
You do that. I gotta share some news with you, though. I'm heading back to America. I've got my own orcs to deal with. Of course, we can keep doing our sessions over video chat. The time zones are a little rough, but I can talk just before dawn.
Oh, that's all right, little mouse. I would rather not do a lot of computer things. And I'm feeling much better now.
Are you sure? I'm happy to talk, and I don't want you to think you're all alone.
Little whisker face, don't worry about me. I have what I need now.
Well, if you're sure, if you ever need me, just send me a V-mail, okay? That ain't no social network, more of a digital Pony Express.
Perhaps I can tell you about my adventures, and how I will exact my bloody revenge on Durgan the Betrayer.
I'd love to hear all about your adventures, Bulgo. I guess this is goodbye then, huh?
Nay, 'tis not a goodbye, but a farewell, sir. And may the light of Malone shine upon your path. Walk with nature.
Well, I hesitate to say any client is ever cured of cognitive distortions, but perhaps Bulgo is.
Yeah, I wonder. She's been pretty free of all this human society stuff for a while. Maybe she knows better than any of us.
Perhaps. The Dark Angel Raziel ensnared even her, however, so we should be aware of his influence. Well, that was your last client. I suppose you are now free to leave whenever you like.
Oh, I ain't no rush, Andy. I'm still dealing with the cruise line to get some space for my coffin. I'll be here a little while yet.
Then I shall endeavor to enjoy your company a while longer. Come, Samuel. The nights grow long. Let us enjoy ourselves.
I want to give a little
Hey,
warning
Crimson, you seen Andy? I wanted to have a chat with him before we leave.
for something coming up real quick. we're gonna tag it as suicidal ideation. Alright? So if you're having trouble with that today, please take some time for yourself. Know that we love you.
He slept in tonight. We had a long night yesterday. Had to say our goodbyes, too. Poor guy acts like everything happens for a reason, and he's got to accept it. He was a little quiet. Why don't you check his office?
I'll do that. Thanks, Crimson. Andy, you around? Crimson said you were acting a little strange. Andy? Oh, dang it, where the heck is that guy? Oh, he left the window open. It's freezing in here. I'll go close it. Ain't like Andy to be like this. Where the hell's he hiding when it's almost morning anyway? Wait a minute. Oh shit, there he is. I don't got time to pick my distortions. I'll just have to use the ones I know best. Andy, what the hell are you doing out here? The sun's coming up.
I did not intend for you to find me, Samuel. I had said my goodbyes already.
What are you talking about, Andy? There's no need to be thinking like this. Come on inside and we can talk.
Do not fear for me, dear Samuel. I do not leave out of despair. There is no distortion. This is simply a choice that I have decided to make.
How can you say that?
Samuel, I have walked this earth for more than 3,000 years. I have watched civilizations rise and fall. I have witnessed horrors and wonders you could not comprehend. I have been hated, and I have been loved. And I have hated and loved. I am a creature of myth, Samuel. A fragment of another age. My time passed long ago.
Andy, these things are only true from your own perspective. You're doing some labeling and you know it. I know you ain't a mythological being. That's a cognitive distortion.
My friend, it is not. This is a world of computers, of technology. But I was here before the name Jesus Christ ever existed. I was here before civilization. It is not labeling to say that I am from another time, and indeed, older than most myths. This distortion does not apply to me.
Well, who cares about that, Andy? I think it's great that you got all this experience. You got perspectives most of us couldn't dream of having.
But Samuel, my perspectives are alien. The humanity I was born into is not the humanity of the modern world. My value is like that of a history book, and the perspectives I have, while well-earned, are of their time. Do not look to me for answers.
Andy, now you're disqualifying the positive. You compare yourself to a history book, but history books don't talk. They don't reason.
Of course, my friend. But I do not disqualify the positive, not in the slightest. I merely ask you, and indeed humanity, to look to itself for answers. This is not a cognitive distortion. My dear Samuel, you give me such hope. That is why I must leave this earth to you, and those you will help cultivate and grow. I have had my place in this world for a very long time. I have done much good, and I have committed great evils. These things I accept. But it is time for me to stop having an influence on this world. When you told me that Heinrich Kramer still lived, it proved to me that I have had too much influence. The small choices I make change the fate of the world.
Andy, that ain't something you can know. Heinrich Kramer is his own man. He's made his own awful decisions. It's a control fallacy to think you caused what he's done.
It is not a control fallacy, my dear Samuel. My point was that my decision to support Heinrich Kramer had a lingering effect on this world. Like the wings of a butterfly, my actions have consequences for good and ill that cannot be predicted. But even butterflies die to support the natural order. This is not a control fallacy. Samuel, do not mourn me. All things must pass. It is the way of nature, a way that you know well. It is this way that brought you to my door. We have talked much in our time about the value of change and growth. Death is change, my friend. Nothing good can come from my having an eternal existence.
Now that's Nosferatu thinking if I ever heard it. Nothing good can come from your having an eternal existence. You're doing plenty of good all the time. Think of the people you've helped. Think about Crimson. Think about me.
I did not say that I could do no good, my dear Samuel. I have been honored to be a companion to you, to Crimson, and to so many others. It is the eternal that is incompatible with nature. My thoughts are clear. This is not Nosferatu thinking. I know you look for the best in everyone you meet, Samuel. You see potential where others do not. That is why you seek to rescue me. But I do not need to be rescued. And that is why I am honored to leave the future in your hands. I confess, I did not have hope for Edmund Keen. Rarely can such men be aided, but you persevered. I would not hope to help Heinrich Kramer either, but you dare to hope. I should leave and allow this hope to flourish.
Andy, pardon my saying so, but that's a load of horse shit. Where's that should statement coming from, huh? Just because you don't see the same potential I do doesn't mean you should leave. That's Distortion City Population Andy.
There are certain shoulds, however, Samuel, that are inevitable for the world to keep turning. The sun should shine, whether we like it or not. We should drink blood, whether we like it or not. And all things should die, whether we like it or not. It is not a cognitive distortion to think so. Please, Samuel, do not make this difficult for me when it need not be. Go. Face your bloodfather. I believe you will succeed in turning Heinrich, and that will bring me peace in death.
But... Andy, I don't want you to go.
I know, my dear Samuel, but I must move on, just as you must. I have had my time here. Too much time. Too much blood has been spilled on my account. I have done much to atone for this, but for good or ill, my time must be over. I have a confession, Samuel. Perhaps it would make my decision clearer to you. I am Heinrich's bloodfather.
What?
I made him into a vampire. I gave him eternal life. In my hatred for humanity, I empowered him in his dark work. It is my choice that brought the Malleus Maleficarum into existence. My choice that fueled the deaths of so many. The beating of my wings 600 years ago killed your brother, destroyed your family, even caused the death of your princess. I am so sorry, Samuel, but I hope you can understand why I must go. The world does not need my continued influence. There is no cognitive distortion that clouds my thoughts. Only the clarity of seeing the long arc of history formed by my hand.
I don't know what to say, Andy.
Then say nothing, Samuel. Go back downstairs. Live your own life. I have accepted my influence on this world, but that influence is over now. Crimson is now a vampire. She needs me no longer. You are a greater therapist than I. I am at peace. If I may offer a last word of advice, my friend, remember your strength. Approach every client with the same mentality you always have, and it will serve you well.
Wait a minute. Approach every client the same way. I know what Andy needs.
Now, I wish to see the sun rise one last time. There is nothing more you can do for me, Samuel.
That's where you're wrong, Andy. I do have something to offer you, and that's compassion. I know you've done some awful things, and that must weigh mighty hard on you. I can imagine the pain you feel at seeing someone like Heinrich Kramer running around reminding you of the vampire you used to be.
I appreciate your empathy more than I can say, Samuel. You are right. It is painful. But my decision is about more than pain. I know my presence is unnatural. My world has died so many times over.
I know it has, Andy. I watched my friends and family die out a few times. You've done it 100 times at least. If you didn't feel that, there'd definitely be something wrong with you. I'd say that pain is more natural than anything. But you don't have to feel that pain alone, Andy. You've made this world a better place so you don't have to.
You are kind, dear Samuel. Too kind to an old relic like myself. But I do not wish to see the history I have created. It is darkness that builds upon itself, regardless of what I do.
Andy, I forgive you. A lot of them decisions you made were terrible ones. Now that Andy was a hateful asshole, but I feel sorry for him. Nobody who feels content and peaceful does things like that. I'm sure he hated himself as much as you hate him now. I know what it's like to look in the mirror and see a murdering sack of shit. But you're a person, Andy. You got needs, joys, regrets, and sorrows. You're deserving of love. And I love you, man.
Damn it, Samuel. Don't you know crying is dangerous to a vampire? It is fluid we cannot stand to lose.
Well, let's go get you something to drink then. Come on, Andy. Let's get back to the darkness.
Thank you, Samuel. Thank you.
Okay.
Whew, what a night. Poor Andy. I think he'll be okay, though.
Looks like we kept that centaur's drawing, though. Way back there.
Being human means we're gonna keep making mistakes, but we'll have to accept them and forgive ourselves. I'll keep an eye on Andy before we leave, but he seems pretty eager to help me with Heinrich now. That ought to keep him going. He gave me this here coffin as a gift, and I'll definitely think of him whenever I'm resting in it. Now then, I think I'll do a little reading from my favorite book. Something to inspire me for the challenges ahead. I learned this, at least by my experiment, that if one advances confidently in the direction of his dreams, and endeavors to live the life which he has imagined, he will meet with success unexpected in common hours.
Yeah, that is a signed pic of Edmund. He did give it to us, and then it showed up in our coffin.
In proportion as he simplifies his life, the laws of the universe will appear less complex, and solitude will not be solitude, nor poverty poverty.
Why, get busy. Stop it, will you? Cut it out.
Travel by night. Perhaps if Appadala does not...
Greetings. Let's bring them back, $50.
Hey, Chief. But as I slit his throat, with his dying breath, he said someone else had a duplicate map.
'Tis bad. We must leave at once if we are to be the first to reach King Rootin' tomb.
Make preparations to depart immediately.
Aye, Chief. But remember the curse. He who touches the jewel first is doomed to 1,000 deaths.
We must secure the services of 3. And when we get them to do our bidding...
Yes, but we'd best have food before we travel.
Aye.
Service! Waiter!
Yes, I just serve it.
Oh!
What do you have?
We want
We don't have any more. All we got left is rabbit and hot dogs.
rabbit. Hot dog.
Hot dog, they'll take rabbit.
Okay, come on.
Okay, coming right up. Coming right up. Here we are, pepper and salt. That busboy is off.
Kitty.
Scat! Come here. Come here, you. Well, I'll fix you. Oh, you.
Oh, poor kitty. That cat's dead now.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ. Are y'all happy we watched the cartoons?
Get out of here. Come here, you. You think you'll get away, eh? Now I got you. Come on. Now I got it. It couldn't be. Or could it? Now you stay here, you be a good boy, you. Now sit there.
Oh, puppy.
Here you are, gentlemen. Hot dogs. When it comes to cooking them, the cat's meow.
What the fuck?
Sit down.
Oh, but I'm not tired. I'll just stand while you eat.
Sit down with your head on or off.
You talked us into it.
Eat.
Did you hear anything?
Yeah, I did.
Yes.
Sit down and eat.
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 Oh no. What the fuck?
Tonight.
Eat.
Well,
No. I killed it. I killed it. Oh, I killed it.
shh. This just can't be.
Forgot the mustard.
So you are the perpetrator of this. Sit down and eat.
Sit down.
A pleasure. Thank you.
There's the dog and cat. Why don't you tell me?
What?
Get out. Let him alone. Oh, cut it. Oh, man. Oh, oh.
There. Oh.
These three, they are the ones that get the jewel for us.
Right. Gentlemen.
Who came in?
No, you. How would you boys like to make 1,000 shilblinas?
You've convinced us. What do we have to do?
There is a diamond worth a king's ransom. You hear? A king's ransom.
Gentlemen, this map will lead us to the treasure. Now pay strict attention.
Hassan Ben Soba, you are late. I got the diamond, you got the gate. Signed, Omagash, Emir of Shmo.
Oh, ruined, defeated. That murderous cutthroat. He has the famous 100-carat diamond.
100 carats, he's shooing to his onions.
Quiet. This map is useless
All
to
right.
me now. With that diamond, I could have quit my job as the doorman at the...
All right. I think I'm nice and relaxed now. Time for some good rest. The real journeys are still to come.
You could have said stop. You guys were all clamoring for fucking TV.
Tonight's the night. Time to hit the dusty trail back home. You ain't gonna take any sunrise strolls, right, Chief?
I am fine now. It was a momentary lapse of self-awareness. I have much to regret, but much to live for as well. I believe that you can turn Heinrich Kramer, Samuel, and I wish to help you as much as I can.
You better, Sugar Blood. You know I can stay if you need me.
No. I cannot hold you or Samuel back. We all must continue on our paths. On my honor, I will continue as well, as I have for the last 3,000 years. You are already packed, and I would not see you delay.
I guess this is it then. Last time I'll see this bar for a while.
Immernacht shall not be the same without you, but it will be something new.
Oh, if you're looking for a new snack, there's this fellow who's been roaming around. Name of Kieran.
We have met. I should very much like to know him better. But do not worry for me, Samuel. A vampire is always comfortable with a little quiet. Regardless, I have my cats to snuggle. Now then, let us go outside. I shall see you off.
Well, here we are. Guess this is it.
Samuel, my dear, this is not an ending, but a beginning. Do not think that I have nothing left to teach you. We will speak over the internet. I do not release you from therapy.
Reckon I got plenty of work to do still anyway.
We all do. Now, Crimson, come. Embrace me.
Gosh.
I'm gonna miss you, Sugar Blood.
We will see each other again before long. And when we do, I will give your body pleasures that you cannot conceive of. First, I will lick your... There's the American I know so well. Very well. I bid you both an exciting journey. Now get out of here. Tears are unpleasant to our kind.
Oh, hey, Bert. You wanted to say something.
I think he wants to see us off.
Go on, my friend. Speak your mind. Have fun, mate.
Oh, Bert. You always know what to say.
That's it then. In the past months, I've learned more about myself than I did in the last 2 centuries. I got reasons to hope that I can put my skills to use back home, and that I can help anyone who's ready to be helped. For the first time in my life, I got real friends who can't die. And together, we can be better vampires than we ever were alone. I was lost once. I didn't know what I was put on this earth to do. I didn't know why I died. I didn't know who I was. I may be a vampire, but I can reflect now. Now I know who I am.
Yay! Hell yeah. Hopefully. Yeah, thank you all for joining me. I'll be keeping an eye out for the sequel. Next week I will return with a new game that I've been wanting to stream for a while. Releasing Fast and Silksong. I hear that. Goodness. Alright, good night everyone. Thank you for joining me.